ignorant millennials. Welcome to the show. I'm not alone today. I got the beautiful, I mean, look at her. Ooh, the beautiful curly hair as well. I got the beautiful Stormi Maya. Stormi Maya, how are you doing?
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
ladies,
good.
you good. That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys might know her pretty well from a couple of movies and series. She's also an artist as well. But today, today's topic, I just wanted to touch base with her in terms of what's happening in America, in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement and so forth. So, Stormy, you said you're
Yes.
great. I actually didn't expect that particular response given the climate in that's happening in the United States and everything else.
Well, this is pretty normal for Black Americans. This is not anything new. So
Yes.
we have a certain energy where we continue and
Yes.
we move on, even as we're
Mm.
even as we're protesting and even as we're standing up for stuff, we still move on with our everyday lives and we keep cheerful, a cheerful presence about us. I don't know. It's one great thing I love about Black people. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So let's just fast forward because Black Lives Matter movement has been there for a number of years, and so why do you think was the breaking point this particular time that enough is enough, and that led to this kind of volcanic eruption we've seen, not just in America, but in terms of globally, and quite a number of countries as well, protesting solidarity with you guys.
Well, in my opinion, and like I said, I'm not a politician or anything. I'm just a entertainer, and I have
Yes,
my opinion based on just being Black in America.
yes,
Um, these are things that we deal with on a regular basis, and
yes,
these things are not new, like you said.
yes.
But I think that people are noticing that we've tried a lot of peaceful and non-threatening types of ways of protesting,
Hmm.
like the kneeling in football to just social media, putting it
Hmm.
in our music, stuff like that. We put it
Hmm.
in movies, etc. Like different types of ways to tell people the message without
Hmm.
rioting or looting or burning things down or getting mad. But it seems like nobody is receiving that message. It seems like, nothing is changing. And I
Hmm.
think that we're tired of just sitting back and this is continuing. And we've
Hmm.
tried to like plead and beg and
Hmm.
nothing is working. And it seems like the only thing people respect is when we get angry and when we're
Hmm.
yelling and we're screaming and we seem threatening, then they want to listen to us. And then they
Hmm.
want to complain about how we're protesting. But it's like when we're trying to say things peacefully, when we're trying to do things in a proper manner,
Hmm.
nobody's listening. So I think that people are just tired of Black people dying. We're
Hmm.
tired of this treatment that has not,
Hmm.
you know, subside, and people are just tired of it.
Okay.
So,
So, when you mentioned of doing things, tired of doing it in a kind and peaceful manner, that you're tired of that. So, I think then I have to ask, what do you think of the current looting that is happening as a result of or byproduct of these particular protests?
well, just for clarification, with the whole looting and rioting, there's not one race doing that, and I put this
Yes.
in people's attention. There's many people doing it. There are
Hmm.
some people who are angry and they
Hmm.
just want to basically make a point. They want to make they're angry. They're just acting out.
Hmm.
And then there's some people who are taking advantage of the situation. There's a lot of
Hmm.
white people who are just going to these peaceful protests that Black people are at and white allies are at. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of white people who are going and making a
Hmm.
joke of it, a mockery. And there's a lot of young kids and they're out here rioting and looting, and they're not doing it for the cause. They're just doing
Hmm.
it to take advantage of the situation. So
Hmm.
there's different people doing different things.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So then how then do you feel about people who then revolt or answer back that it's not only all Black Lives Matter, it's all lives matter? What do you feel about that particular response?
Well, number one, that whole thing is just to derail and to discredit what we're saying. And it wasn't even a saying or a thing until Black Lives Matter came. And it's a way to, once again, like I said, discredit us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to take away from what we're saying. Because never once did we say only Black Lives Matter. We never said
Mm-hmm.
that. We've always said Black Lives Matter, which means that our lives matter too, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to say that our fathers matter, our families matter, our
Mm-hmm.
businesses matter, because we feel like no one thinks that, because they're killing Black people with no remorse. They're not getting any justice. And so when we say Black Lives Matter, we're saying like we're important, like we're people, we have feelings, we have families, we have voices. So like when people say things like all lives matter, it doesn't make any sense, because it's like people always give these examples, like, yeah, if I'm talking about getting rights for people who have other illnesses and stuff, or I'm trying to get like money raised for other illnesses, it doesn't make much sense to tell me other illnesses exist. We know that. It's just like you can protest something, and it doesn't mean that you don't care about other things. So it doesn't make much sense when people say that. And when people say it to me, I block them. Because to me, you're being disrespectful, and you're not even taking time to look up what it means. And you're being a narcissist, in my opinion, because you're putting all this focus on yourself. And not every cause, not every protest has to be maybe about you. So if you feel like, oh, well, I'm not Black, so I'm not included in this, it's because this particular protest, this particular fight is for this particular thing. It doesn't mean that your fight does not matter. It doesn't mean that your struggle does not matter. We're just talking about this. You feel me? So yeah.
Yes. So,
Mm-hmm.
like currently, as somebody who's not in the States and seeing what I see through what media feeds us, and obviously what we also see on social media, the likes of yourself posting on social media and so forth, one has to wonder, is it safe to go and protest? Because it doesn't seem like it's safe. It seems like it's the citizens versus the police and the army, and as well, you guys are in the middle of a pandemic as well. Well, global pandemic, also being coronavirus.
Yeah, but it's also not being safe being Black in America, period, because we're dying from doing nothing. So it's like,
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
you're saying it's not safe going out there and protesting, but it's like Black people aren't safe just going outside and selling CDs or selling cigarettes
yes,
or reaching for their license registration
yes,
or maybe having a check bounce or
yes.
what is it, a fake $20 bill or something. Like, so apparently we're not safe doing everyday regular things,
Mm-hmm,
so we're fine taking
mm-hmm.
that risk and going out there and fighting so that authorities are not taking advantage of the system.
Okay, okay, okay. So then one has to like ask, what is the the outcome that you guys as Americans are hoping to achieve from these particular protests? Because do you actually think like racism will end from this particular protest and so forth?
No one's trying to end racism. You're not going to end racism. Racism is something that people passed on within their family, something that people themselves have in their
Yes.
hearts. This is about systematic racism. This is about the system itself being against us. The KKK it's proven the
Mm-hmm,
KKK has entered into the police force
mm-hmm,
to do their duties. It is proven that there's a lot of corruptness within the police force.
mm-hmm,
And that's the problem, is we don't want our authorities to be the threat. The people we're supposed to call to protect us, the
mm-hmm,
people who are supposed to look out for us, that's the fear. If a civilian is being racist, if a civilian is doing something,
yes.
they typically will get justice, and we typically will, they typically go to jail, etc., etc. The
Mm-hmm,
problem is a lot of people are getting off, they're keeping their jobs, they're walking around free, and then they're doing these things over and over again. And so we're more trying to fight police brutality, systematic racism, things of that nature. Not necessarily just the everyday white person down the street being racist, because that's just a different fight.
yeah, so I understand that. So, but like, what is it that, so if I'm the president right now, or I'm in the Senate, what is it that right now that you guys feel you should be heard And what law or what thing do you want to be addressed in this particular moment that would make you feel like, okay, we're seeing change, or this is progressive step towards change?
Well, once again, I'm only speaking for myself, and I'm not speaking for every Black person in America. But most of the protests are actually to get justice for the current police brutality, for Breonna Taylor, for George Floyd,
Yes.
uh, people of that nature. So it's
Yes.
more that these people still had jobs. Breonna Taylor's people haven't been charged for anything. So
Hmm.
it's more about getting justice, getting these people in jail, getting them to lose their jobs,
Hmm.
because we don't want these people walking around doing
Hmm.
this over and over
Hmm.
again. So that's more what people are fighting for. They
Hmm.
want justice. They want people to be charged, want them to go to jail. They want them to get time, be held to the same standards as civilians are,
Hmm.
and make sure the other police officers and people of authority know that there will be consequences to them
Yes.
doing these horrendous crimes.
Hmm.
Not you can just go around and kill people and get off because you're a police officer. See, that's scary.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. That actually makes a whole lot of sense, and I surely hope that justice is served, and that
Yeah.
yeah, the officers are actually well detained and get sentenced. Because I think the other thing is, in as much as they can be detained, they can be released on bail, or we could court proceedings could yeah, go in their favor, and the jury could decide on a lighter sentence for them, which I hope is not the case as to what would happen, because then justice would not be served um, at all. So then I have to ask then, you yourself and as Americans, what would you require from us as the world to do or help you with in solidarity of your cause? Because this cause is not only in America. I think the Black community is generally perceived as an inferior community globally. So, what is it that we can do to help you guys?
I think that these other countries standing behind the cause is what's causing these quick changes. Um, for example, George's killer, his thing was moved from third degree to second degree, which is more
Yes,
time. Before it was like max 25, now it's like max 40 years.
yes, yes,
So we don't want it any higher than that, because like first degree is too hard to prove and you'll probably just get off. So
yes.
in general, it's like what other people and countries and stuff can do is just standing behind just makes it just more heard, and that's why they're listening, because everyone's angry and they're speaking up, and it
Hmm.
makes them listen. When it's just Black Americans screaming
Hmm.
and yelling, it's not enough. It looks like, oh well, they're just causing
Hmm.
problems.
Hmm.
But when other people stand up for us and speak up, it makes it more of a serious issue, and that's what we want um, the world to hear and see is our struggles, because a lot of people try to discredit it, um, and that's the problem. We want people to hear our voices. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
So so you feel that the world has heard your cry as Americans thus far?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues here. Like, no one really understands the systematic racism. Like, a lot of places, they like our music, they like our culture as Black Americans because it sounds fun, it sounds cool. Like, they listen to our rap music, they listen to um, everything that we put into cinema that tells the same story, and people like it for entertainment. Like, you guys will listen to, like, not saying you particular, but like non-Americans will listen to like our music and stuff all the
Hmm.
time,
Hmm.
and they'll hear it and they'll be like, oh wow, yeah, fuck the police, or yeah, they're down with the system and all that, but they don't really get that this is a real thing we suffer through. Like this is a real thing. Black women are dying more in childbirth. They're not getting the same care.
Hmm.
Flint does not have clean water. Our
Hmm.
inner city Black neighborhoods do not have proper education.
Hmm.
They do not have the same resources these other schools do. We know our food is different. I'm from the hood, okay? I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the inner cities of Boston, and there's a food desert, okay? There's like rotten vegetables and stuff in the grocery stores in these Black neighborhoods. You don't see it in the same when you go to a white neighborhood, okay? Things are very segregated. The police treat you different. The authorities treat you different. The system overall treats you different. The teachers teach you
Yes.
different. They also treat you different.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like it's a whole system. And
Hmm.
some of it is based on how the system was built, and some of
Yes.
it's based on individuals.
Yes.
So it's hard. every day. And I think when people look at our celebrities and our basketball teams and everything else going on, they feel like things are great over here. And it's not like, oh my God, it's so terrible, I can't move on. But it's like, we've worked really hard in this country for years. We've had major influences and we've contributed a lot, and we deserve the same respect. We deserve the same care that the other people get. You feel me? And so that's
100%.
why Blacks are angry, because we literally just out here every day working hard on building up. And it's like every time we feel like we build up on things, it's like we're
Yes.
still not getting the same
Yes.
treatment. That's the
All
problem.
right. All right, all right, all right. Nah, definitely. I've definitely heard your cry and understand the cause of for even more. Thanks to you, Stormy. So, but before we go out any further, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us. I believe you're joining us just shortly for a part two that we're having with you. We're gonna be discussing OnlyFans and your music career and your career in acting as well. So thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, to our viewers out there, look out for part two where we have Stormi Maya here, and we're gonna be, getting to the nitty gritties of what inspired her to go into OnlyFans. How long has she been on OnlyFans, and so forth. And we out.